Good morning. Hi, how are you? I hope you're well and I hope you're rested and just doing well, right? Um, so I want to quickly go over just the second half of semester, right? This is week 8. We're more than halfway done because really there's only like 13 weeks of instruction, and then week 14 is conferences and checking in. And then week 15, excuse me, week 15 is final exams, which we don't have, right? Because you've written all your papers and you've taken you've done all the last essays. So there's no final exam in this class. So, all right. So, yeah, more than halfway done. So let's just review. Let me just share my screen. Let's just review what's happening and how we're going to finish our semester, hopefully on a really strong note. Okay, so here we go. So we can just scroll through and see how much you've done. It's incredible how much you've accomplished in 8 weeks. Please, please, please remember that in between week 3 and week 4, you have this huge core document module block that I created because students would always email and say, "Where was that outline format?" Or, which week was essay format? And it was like too much to always, students were struggling to find things. I was always jumping back and forth. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to create a module where everything lives. And I open it as we go along. So for anybody who just like needs a refresher. And this happens all the time, all semester long. Like Professor Morgan keeps telling me I'm not following intro format. So what the hell is intro format? Like why am I not getting it? Then you click on intro format. Yeah. And you can see I've broken it down. I also have videos where I'm walking you through the entire essay format, right? Quote sandwiches. If I wrote on essay two, like there's no quote sandwiches here. You're not framing your quotes, that kind of thing. And you're like, what is this freaking quote sandwich? Right? Maybe you missed a week. Maybe you just skimmed a week, and that happens. It's natural, it's normal, especially with online classes where we're not in person and I'm not holding you accountable. Like, you're not sitting in front of me like my in-person class and I'm saying, this is a quote sandwich. Let's practice quote sandwiches, right? We're doing it all in class. You guys have to really hold yourselves accountable and be really responsible with making sure you go through and learn all the things that I'm putting out in a module. And that's a lot, right? That's a lot. I think sometimes people think online classes are like you just get to be in your pajamas, and that's not even remotely accurate. Online classes are actually more work. They're more work for me too, right? Because people are always emailing and saying like, "Where's this? Where's that? Canvas isn't working. Connect's not working." Like if we were in person, I would just be able to solve it. So it's a lot more work for everybody, but for sure, more work for you guys being like more responsible and so independent with your work. So if you get off track, if you miss a week, if you just get off kilter, I get it. The flu's going around again. Like I get it. I really get it. So please just come back here if you need to review anything, basic and text citation, how papers should look on the page, just everything you need is on here. So this is all the stuff I say on your papers, right? No format, you're missing paragraph format, you're not doing your citations properly, like according to the standards, and MLA, all that stuff. And people are not double spacing still. Like it's week 8. You have got to double space these papers, right? All that stuff. And that's here. That's here. Okay, so then, you can see all the things we did. It's just so much. And then always go through like MLA stuff and MLA format. These are open all the time. I don't have a lock date on them. So you should be able to go back. Anything that's Canvas, like anything here, like SmartBook is Connect. And there's a lot of things I don't have control over with Connect. It's just a book that's been imported and, it is what it is. But things like this, are mine. I've posted them, I've created these videos, or I've linked to something, on YouTube. So you can always come back and watch these, right? So you see here how this is light gray. That means it's closed, right? That means it's done. You can't hand this back in again. But these things that are dark green right here, I don't know if you probably don't see this on yours, but the teacher page, the dark green means it's open. You can access it again, right? You can watch this anytime. Okay, so just really keep that in your mind. All right, so we're starting week 8. So I'll put this video right here when I'm done doing it under watch. So your main objectives with this week, you have a couple. One of them is that you're going to learn the format. We're going to try new formats here. So we've been doing really basic format, like just 5 paragraph essay or 4 or 5 body paragraphs, that kind of thing. Now we're moving into a new structure. So what that is that there's a compare and contrast structure and there's an argument structure. So we've been doing like a really kind of basic persuasion. Um, like, are you for or against housing first as a model to resolve homelessness, right? So it's an argument, but it's like a light one, right? It's LITE light argument. And so now we're going to get into which we call persuasion. It's just kind of a light thing. You're just trying to convince someone of your side. Now we're moving into like real arguments, where you have there's like an actual structure to it. There's a counter argument paragraph and all that. And your smart book chapters will go through that. There's also a video here walking you through both of those. So then it becomes, when we get to the prompt for essay 3 here, you'll see how you're going to have to be for it or against it, and how it becomes an argument. But before, I'm just going to put a pin in essay 3 because before we do that, we're going to start doing library prep in your discussion. Then in week 9, as you can see here, we're doing all this stuff on how to conduct research. This is obviously virtual, database research. And then the assignment for week 9 is an annotated bibliography, not a works cited, but an annotated bibliography, which is you go find your sources from the databases online, and then you create summary paragraphs with citations. You'll see. But it's really important. And I'm going to just pause right here for a second to really try and persuade you and convince you that these are so vital to your college career. So I just want to take a second and just like pause. So this is going to be a little bit longer of a video, but please, I think it's worth it. So there's a couple things I want to say. One is that MLA format is for the humanities, right? So for English majors and like music and art and any of that kind of stuff. APA format, which is the little footnotes, endnotes, that kind of thing, is for soft sciences like anthropology, psychology, any of the ologies. It's also used for hard sciences, which are biology, chemistry, like science, right? Um, so either way, I'm teaching you MLA because we're in the humanities, but either way, you are going to use these formats like this essay structure format, intro, bodies, conclusion, transition sentences, topic sentences, thesis statement, and then MLA citations, some kind of in-text citations, right? APA or MLA. You will use this for the rest of your college career. This is not something for CCP, for me. This isn't something I made up. This isn't something that like is just for your first 2 years of college. If you go and get your bachelor's degree at Drexel, Penn, Cheney, Harvard, Howard, like University of California, Santa Barbara, you will use this format, right? And I really need to impress this upon you because it's really vital for the rest of your college career. Second to that, I want you to really take a moment now that we're, looking at the end of the semester. I really want you to take a moment and not only appreciate how far you've come, but I want you to be open to how far you can go. You can do anything you want to do. Anything. And I'm going to tell you why. Because I know I seem fancy maybe now, but I am a high school dropout. I left home at 16 and have paid my rent ever since. I have been working since I was 14. I had a waitress job at 14. My parents lied, or parent lied and said I was 17. I was 14 and looked 14. I don't know how anybody bought that. I looked like a little like scrawny kid. And I got my GED. I never went back to high school. I went to Community College of Philadelphia. I was at CCP off and on for 2 years. I never graduated. I went to Temple eventually, years later in my 20s, my late 20s. I went back. I just wanted to work and get money and like drink and party. I mean, whatever. I was like a rotten kid. And then finally, I sort of got my act together in my like mid to late 20s. And it took me 8 years to get my bachelor's degree. It took me double the 4 years. And I already had college credits under my belt from CCP. And I did not know what I was doing. I did not get straight A's. I was a terrible student. It was rough. It was rough going. And it didn't click for me until my 30s, maybe until like 28, 29. It did not, school did not click for me. Um, and I found this incredible professor at Temple, and she took me under her wing, and she really convinced me that I was a good person and I was worthy of education, and told me that I was smart and that I was okay. And I'd never heard that my entire life. And it really, she changed my life and changed the trajectory of my life. So I am here to tell you that you don't know what's coming for you. It could be beyond your wildest dreams. And I want you to really stay open to that. I want you to stay open to you're like, I'm at this effing community college and I'm struggling with English 101 and like, this just sucks and I don't want to do this. I want to do homework and I've got kids or I've got two jobs, whatever it is. I was there. I'm still there. I'm still struggling. Right? My homework is to grade your papers. Like, it's a lot. But I'm telling you, when I was a high school dropout, when I was at CCP, there was no way I saw any future for myself than being a waitress and a secretary, which is what I was doing. I was a temp secretary. And there was no way. Nobody in my family had gone to college, gone to grad school. There was no way I even saw the possibility of education in my future. I didn't even remotely see it. I saw nothing. I saw no future. I was like, let me hustle at these jobs and get through and just try and pay my rent. That's all I cared about. And I am telling you that you just don't know what is in store for you. There is no way anyone could have told the 20-year-old me that I was going to go from a GED and CCP to a PhD. There's no way you could have convinced. I would have laughed in your face, right? And it took me 20 years. It took me 20 years. I didn't graduate from my PhD until I was like 37, right? I was the oldest student always sitting in the room, right? And I know some of my parents on here can relate to that. I was always the oldest. I always felt really out of place, but I did it. You have to like leave room in your life for just the miraculous to happen, right? And I don't mean that in a religious sense. I mean, just brilliant and beautiful things are available to you. I promise. When the external world is nothing but noise and drama and negativity, especially now, there are still things that are good and beautiful and strong that are waiting for you. I promise you. I promise you. And you just can't even imagine it, right? Your dreams are here. And this is what's possible, right? This big are possibilities waiting for you. So stay open to just the miraculous, right? Stay open to just big, big dreams beyond what your like circumstances are telling you is possible. Okay. That was a little like mommy to you. I'm just momming you a little bit. Even those people who are parents need to be mommed a little bit. And for anybody who has not heard it recently, you are so worthy and deserving of good, big things, just abundance to happen in your life. So just work your ass off and know that what you're doing now will serve you later. I promise. So when we're looking at now back back to class, when we're looking at something like persuasion format and MLA format and intros and bodies and conclusion, and I'm like, you've got to do these intros. You've got to have these body structures. You've got to have citations. Stop using fucking AI. Like, don't, learn to have your academic voice. You need a voice. You need to see how clearly and strongly you can communicate your position on topics, i.e., maybe, you don't care about, housing and homelessness. I get it. Maybe that's not your thing that you want to write about. That's fine. That's not the point. The point is not to like convince you of how to deal with the unhoused. The point is that you find your authorial and scholarly voice and that you can pitch a persuasion. That's what it is. A thesis statement is your position as author, and the topic sentences and subparagraphs are you proving and sustaining that argument. And then the quotes are your evidence, you know, exhibit A, exhibit B, like here's my evidence to prove my topic sentences. And then in conclusion, right, I have proved this argument. I'm coming full circle. And here's what you need to do, right? Here's to my reading audience, which of course right now is just me, but like could be a larger audience someday. Here's what I need you to do as my audience. I need you to feel this emotional appeal. I need you to take these actionable steps, right? So the structure of an essay, which seems maybe so like boring and I'm really just like hammering the same thing over and over and over. Like you need to have a hook, you need to have background, you need to have a thesis statement. This all serves a purpose. It is giving you a scholarly voice that will only ever serve you. It will never harm you to have a strong, clear voice, right? That's only for your good, for everybody's good. Also, this is applicable in all areas of your life. You hate your job, it's a dead end job, but you don't know how to get a new job, right? You go on LinkedIn, you type in what you want or indeed.com or wherever the cool jobs are these days, and you see the jobs that you're looking for and you're like, "Oh, I have no experience in this, but I really want that job. That sounds really cool and it might be a good stepping stone to someplace else." Great. You're going to type up an email to that HR person, right? The human resources person who hires and fires. And you're going to write a persuasion email. Dear sir or madam, right? Or I guess at this point that feels really binary. Dear, you know, uh, chairperson of the human resources department. I saw a job that you listed online, and this is who I am, intro, thesis. I think that I'm an excellent candidate for this position, period. Thesis statement. Here's the reasons why. Body one, body two, body three, right? I may not have the experience, but I'm an incredibly hard worker. Let me give you an example, evidence of how I took a leadership role at my current position. Two, right? Whatever, all these things about why you would be the perfect candidate. In conclusion, right? Don't say that, but um, in, you know, I believe that I am a really excellent candidate for this position, even if I don't have the experience you're listing in the job, you know, uh, job posting. I have the skills that you require, and I am an excellent learner. I learn really fast on the job, and I really just need someone to give me a chance so I can get my foot in the door. And I believe that you are the company that can do that for me and see all that I bring to the table. Thank you so much. Sincerely, Rashida Hamilton. Like, that's a persuasion paper, and that's going to get you the job, right? Like, none of us are born, well, okay. Working class people are not born with the networks and the know-how. And so when I'm teaching you persuasion format or essay format, and I'm like, getting on you about the grammar and the punctuation and, having this format. It's useful for so much in your life. I had to argue with Pico the other day and I used persuasion format. I was like, here's who I am. Here's where I live. Germantown, here's my problem. You haven't come and gotten all these branches from the storms, and I'm still getting power outages. It's been a month. Like, come get your ass. I didn't say that. But like, here's my actionable steps. I need you to come this week and deal with this stuff, right? Thank you. Sincerely, Tabitha Morgan, right? It's all it's all essay format, okay? So I think I've made my point. I know this video is getting long. But so when we get to this third essay, and I'm going to show you the topic now, I want you to really just click into the fact that I'm teaching you these things that will serve you in a future that you need to just be open for, right? You never know what job, what career, what schooling is coming for you. It's amazing what happens in life sometimes for the good, not the bad. And for those of us who have, had trauma or been unhoused or, lived in our cars, been there. I have been there. And we don't think that good things are coming, right? We're waiting for the other shoe to drop. We're waiting to get evicted. We're waiting for all these things to happen. I get it. I'm 1,000% there. But that just doesn't leave room for goodness. It doesn't leave room for opportunities, and it doesn't leave room for us to root for ourselves, right? And to really show up for ourselves. So let this class not only teach you skill sets, but be this push for you to learn these skill sets so that you can have better opportunities in the future, right? Know that this basic stuff is serving you in a larger way. Yeah. And that when you go to Harvard, Penn, Cheney, Howard, right? Or University of California, San Diego, wherever you go, you will use this format. You will use MLA format, right? I used MLA format in text citations in my dissertation, right? It's the same. Okay. Okay. So back to the prompt. So for essay 3, we're arguing universal basic income. So UBI is this idea that people should get like a set sort of low level. It's not, $100,000 a year, but like this set sort of, whatever, $30,000 that allows them to create stability in their lives. And then they could go to school. They could work at a job and work their way up the ladder. And then when they get to a better place, then, the money would stop. So again, this is arguable. This is a black and white issue. You're not a little bit for it, like you could have been with the unhoused and housing first. You could be like a little bit for housing first, but think it's not going to work long term. This, you just have to choose a side. These are the pros, these are the cons, this is what we should do, right? But also keep in mind that we do have some version of this now. It's, our welfare system is some version of this. Like you can get money. Also, disability is a version of this, right? You're out on disability. You have cancer, and or you broke your leg. I broke my leg once, and I was out on disability for 3 months, right? So we have versions of this. Unemployment, Social Security. For old people, they get a universal basic income, right? So, I mean, it's like $500 a month. It sucks, but it's something, right? So this isn't reinventing the wheel necessarily. So with these readings, I put them in different colors so you could separate them out. In chapter 9 of the Smart Book, you're going to see these articles, and we're just going to deep dive. Try not to have an opinion yet. Um, I mean, I know people are just going to milk the system. They're going to scam it. I know. Um, but also just keep in mind that we see this around the world, right? So here's all the stuff. Here's the structure, the intro. We're going to do 4 to 5 body paragraphs now. We're getting a lot longer. We're going to do a counter argument and rebuttal or refutation. It's the interchangeable. And then all the other stuff we always do. So also keep in mind that universal basic income is all around the world. This is a thing that exists. I'm not arguing for it. I'm just telling you it's not like unheard of. So places in Europe have universal basic income as their welfare, like a welfare system, not like welfare, but a welfare that people are taken care of and their welfare is looked out for. Um, and like they have free college, they have college for everyone, but they pay higher taxes to pay for that, right? You have to fund that in some way. But the people who live in Norway, Sweden, Amsterdam, they're willing to do that, to pay higher taxes in order to have everyone go to college, right? If they want, they don't have to. Um, the same thing for health insurance. They pay, more taxes, and then everybody gets access to universal health care, right? Which is what Obama tried it with Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, and that only lasted a few years. But he was trying to model that on these like European models. So this again is not reinventing the wheel. It's just we don't do that here, right? Outside of welfare, Social Security, unemployment, disability. There's like these very specific criteria that you have to meet to do all this. But it's a very global system. It's a very like European system. So we'll see. We'll see if what you think about it. I'm really curious to see how you're going to respond to it. Again, there's no right answer or wrong answer. You're just for it or against it. Okay, so then back to the modules. So to do this, to write this essay, this is our last really long essay. Essay 4 is a timed essay, and we'll get to that. Don't panic. It's like the writing diagnostic you did in the beginning. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm just like chugging coffee. Mm. Okay, so here's the structure, compare and contrast, or persuasion, which persuasion and argument, we've kind of been doing already. Here's the prompt. We're going to prep for the library. So you have to do the readings, right? Chapter 9, the readings are the readings. And you're going to start brainstorming out keywords. You're going to start doing the readings of these 2 articles. You're going to do more, but here's the 2 articles. And then you're going to start outlining the essay for your homework. Okay. Then in week 9, so next week, I'll probably open this now too. You're going to do database research, how to conduct research using the library online version, of course, but you can come to main campus. We have a fantastic library that really also is a social hub. It's like where people do homework together and they hang out, and you make friends, and it's kind of a rad space. They just spent like $10 million to redo it. It's really lovely space. So if you're in the Philadelphia area, come and hang out and just see it. The librarians will take you on tours and stuff. And then for your homework, you're going to write an annotated bibliography, which is its own thing. It's not a works cited or bibliography. I mean, it's connected, but it's not the same thing. So here you have intro to database, and then databases, which was where we do research, how to write an annotated bibliography do, right? The usual. Then in week 10, it's all about synthesizing your research, how to employ all this research, how to embed it into your paper. And then the assignment is going to be in that discussion post format again. When I did that peer edit before, some people didn't upload, and so other people were assigned people that never gave them feedback. It was just a hot mess. So this way, when I do discussions, when I do peer edits in a discussion format, you can just see who's uploaded. You can reply to who you want to. It just is way, way better. And then, of course, you're going to hand them in to me, and I'll give you teacher feedback. But look at this, we're already in April, right? We're like really getting towards the end of semester. So then week 11 is essay three is due. We've done the peer edits, we've done, professor feedback, we've done all this. And then this is a really easy week. It's just essay three is due. And then we start doing, practices for the timed essay, which is again at the very end. Don't even put that in your mind yet. I'll prep you for it. I'll support you in it. It's fine. It's not as scary as it sounds. Okay. So that's the trajectory. We're spending a lot of time on essay three. We're using real research from the databases, and all of that will be explained in this week and next week. But what's really important about that, and just to come full circle, in conclusion, which I hate, but like in conclusion, I want to teach you essay format in this way because it's the most persuasion is the most standard format for college essays, like in all colleges, right? So your undergrad, your master's degree, whatever, all of it, your PhD, you'll be using persuasion format generally. And you'll be needing to cite, right? You were never going to plagiarize, right? So you're always going to need to know citation format. Sorry, I look like I have Albert Einstein here. And you will always need structure format. You're always going to have a thesis. You're always going to have topic sentences. You're always going to have evidence or examples. Um, to that end, uh, you also are going to need real research, like real research. Um, it's not Wikipedia. Wikipedia is not where it's at. Google is not where it's at. And we also know that most of the stuff on Google is really fake, right? Do we know that now? A girlfriend of mine was talking to her partner about, oh, we should go to Panama. Let's go somewhere kind of random. Let's have this vacation. They were just talking. They were talking. They didn't Google anything. They didn't look up anything. They didn't ask Siri for anything. They were talking amongst themselves as adults in their living room. The next day, she she brings up Google on her phone, and it has all these ads on the side for guess what? Panama. Listen, y'all, Big Brother is listening. It's crazy. And it was really scary to think, oh, it's just really creepy. So Google is not where it's at. They are filtering responses to you, right? They are filtering like all those ads, the targeted ads. Everything is being filtered to you and what you're Googling. So you're not getting, sorry, I got a hair somewhere. You're not getting objective, factual information. They're trying to push you to go to certain stores. They're pushing you to go and use certain services. Of course, they're pushing you into Amazon. Those guys are all friends, right? So what I really want you to do is disengage, disconnect from these, search engines that are really just, targeting us, and they're tracking us, they're pushing us in certain directions. So what we do instead is we use the databases, and the databases, are objective. There's no, I mean, and nothing's objective, but they're as objective as you're going to get in academia. There's no advertisements. There's nobody's funding it. It's not owned by anybody. It's literally a library database system. All the articles are peer reviewed, meaning other professors have fact checked them. And we don't know each other. So I'm not like, oh, this is my friend, I'm going to get their article through. It's not like that at all. I read their article, I fact check it, I say, yes, this is acceptable for publication or not, right? So that's peer reviewed. So I really, really, really want you to learn these next 2 and 3 weeks about using the library, using the databases, using journal articles, so that we are not reliant on Google and, whatever, Wikipedia to give us misinformation, right? Or like information that's being given to us for a particular motive or reason. Connected to that, I really, really, really need you to not use AI. I know some professors let you. I know some professors let you like brainstorm ideas. I think that that's complete bullshit. I'm going to be honest with you. I want you to learn how to brainstorm and do critical thinking on your own. I do not, in any way, shape, or form, want you to become reliant on an external machine, freaking robotic machine to do your thinking, to do your brainstorming, to do your analysis, to do your writing. I want you to have an academic voice that is your own. I want you to stand up. I want you to be a leader. I want you to have your voice. I want your voice to be heard. I don't want you to get fired or busted because it's AI, because you don't have the correct sources, because you're putting out fake information. That's not who we are. That is not who we are. We put out real information, real evidence, facts, and we do it through our own amazing, strong, sovereign self, right? Sovereign, independent self. We're not sheep in Philadelphia. We're not sheep, okay? We are not sheep. We are leaders. We're advocates, right? We are scholars. We are scholars. Okay? Okay. So, this is a long video, but it's got a lot of really important parts. Please watch till the end. And I'm going to give you a password so I know that you've read to the end. And the password is Go Eagles. The password is Go Eagles. And I'm going to, at some point, put out a thing this week, and you have to reply to me, Go Eagles, or else I know you didn't watch this video. All right? Okay. I adore you. I so appreciate that you have come back to school week 8. If you're with me now, you're going to be with me to the end. We're going to do this shit. Let's do it. Let's do it. We are doing it. Okay? Go birds. Go Eagles. Go you. Go you. I'm here for you. I'm a cheerleader for you. We've got this. We have got this. Okay? Just keep saying it to yourself. I've got this. I've got this. I've got this. I am learning skills. I am moving forward no matter what surrounds me, no matter what my circumstances. I have got this and I am moving forward and stepping into my best life, my highest self. I am stepping into all that is good and great for me. Yes? Yes. Yes. I got you. Let's go. Let's go.